Good morning. It's Thursday, June 12, 2025. Mental health is real. Seek help. End the stigma on the news this morning. Nigerians reflect as country marks 26 years of democracy today. Protesters mobilize ahead of President Tinubu's Democracy Day broadcast. Rivers Administrator reveals 2025 budget made with Fubara's return in mind. On the foreign scene, U.S. to partially evacuate embassy in Iraq as Iran tensions rise. I'm Ifechukwu Moyele with the news. Now, we begin the news this Thursday with the reflection of Nigerians as the country marks 26 years of uninterrupted democracy. As you may know, it is a public holiday today and several conversations are expected to be held across the country, both online and offline. On air, some callers ask what democracy means to them. Some callers ask what democracy means to them, had this to say.
So this is I said that in this Nigeria we don't know what is called democracy, and what they are doing there is just their business. They don't consider us. Whatever thing they want, they do it overnight. Look at how they pass budget, they bring it to the government and say, people, look at our budget, look at what we want to do. How are we going to do this? We're going to consider people. Look at all the things they are doing. They just do it on their own, whether we will like it or not. They are going on with it. So there's no democracy in this country, especially in River State now. Yeah, I know that this is government of selected few, by the few, and very few. No one voted and vote never counts. And we are talking about democracy. People selected themselves and then they share position to themselves. This is where you do, this is where you do, this is where you do. Democracy. We not even day for day, populist of more, populist of party. Last time I checked, you see what is going on. We are not practicing even freedom of the speech.
Niger Delta activist Akio Briggs appears to share the same sentiment as she says democracy has failed Nigerians. She tells correspondent Kachi Wosu that the uninterrupted democratic governance since 1999 is not a measure of democratic success.
That democracy has failed. It's not the fault of the ideals of democracy that has failed. It's the people that we have put in charge that have failed us. There is nothing I see that I can say that this is because we have democracy. If we're looking at the fact that since Abdul Salami, there has not been any military coup, that means there is democracy. That's not true, because it is very clear now that it's not only when the military takes over that things are bad. Even when civilians are in government.
Briggs said the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State and the dismantling of democratic structures is an affront to true democratic principles.
It has taken a negative toll on us as a people. The Trans-Calabari Road has come to a halt. People are not getting paid. That a governor that was democratically elected, removed by a democratically elected president, under a democratic, and yet we now have a stranger undoing before our very eyes all those things that have been done democratically.
Meanwhile, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara says the political turbulence in the state, which disrupted democratic governance, is a reminder of how delicate democracy can be. In his Democracy Day speech, the suspended governor pledged to continue to defend the state's interest and to maintain a government that values inclusivity, transparency, and accountability. Governor Fubara said democracy must be actively protected and nurtured in order to remain strong and meaningful. The governor noted that the state's democratic experience has come with both victories and challenges, each reinforcing the need to stay true to the principles of democracy. He maintained that while the state's democratic journey has faced setbacks, the collective determination of its people remain intact. Now, he called on citizens to face this moment with unity, boldness, and a renewed sense of purpose. The governor said the future of Rivers State depends on the people's ability to work together innovate, and push forward with shared goals. He encouraged every citizen to take an active role in creating a peaceful and united society, one built on healing, mutual understanding, and a shared vision for long-term development. The governor expressed confidence in the direction the state is taking, stating that Rivers State will emerge stronger and more united. He appealed to every citizen to play their part in building a society where everyone has the opportunity to contribute meaningfully to the state's progress. The governor also acknowledged the effort and sacrifices of past leaders, noting that they laid the foundation for today's democracy. Earlier, Governor Fubara charged the people of the state not to lose hope and that lasting success will be achieved soon. The governor said this during a Thanksgiving service held on Bonny Island to mark the 60th birthday celebration of the Amayanabo of Grand Bonny Kingdom, King Edward Asimini William Dapper Pepple III. The governor said, although his administration has encountered turbulence, it has remained steady and continues to deliver development.
Some people accuse me of a lot of things, but the truth about it is, can't be what I'm not. And for our people, just be strong. At times, you need to lose to win. For me, and anybody who believes in me, I've never considered myself losing anything. Not at all. It is when you attach life to things, that is when it bothers you. But I know that at the end of the day, our winning will come to us because we are standing on a solid rock.
In the meantime, constitutional lawyer Professor Richard Nwokocha says the Nigerian judiciary is in urgent need of reform. Speaking on the In the meantime, constitutional lawyer Professor Richard Nwokocha says the Nigerian judiciary is in urgent need of reform. Speaking on the role of the judiciary in strengthening democracy, Professor Nwokocha said the recent conduct and decision of the courts have not only failed to inspire confidence but have further eroded public trust in the democratic process.
Recent court decisions have not at all improved public perception. It has, on the contrary, eroded public trust in the democratic process badly. It is not to say that technical matters and technical situations cannot arise that will cause the court to differ from the general public impression and perception. But I am afraid that the courts have taken too partisan an approach in dealing with issues relating to democracy in the country, such that it will be quite some long walk to regaining public confidence. And I think massive reforms need to be undertaken to secure or regain the confidence of the public.
He said the judiciary, which ought to be the guardian of democracy, has fallen short of its responsibilities.
As an institution that is critical to constitutional democracy, I would say that the judiciary, which no doubt is the key institution because it moderates between conflicting interests, has left a lot to be desired. This is not to diminish the importance of exemplary conduct of individual judges and justices, but I'm afraid it's beginning to look like too little and too far in between, especially in the light of the high-profile seeming misconduct and misadjudications being exhibited within the country. One cannot say at the moment, with respect to its role as guardian of democracy, that the judiciary, especially the apex court, is doing well.
Another legal expert, Ndamzi Ikulo, however, says the survival of democracy in Nigeria still largely depends on the judiciary.
As Nigeria continues to evolve as a democratic nation, the post-election justice process remains a critical component of upholding the people's will. A functional democracy relies on a judiciary that promotes justice in its truest sense, ensuring that disputes are resolved based on their merit rather than procedural technicalities. The judiciary, in my assessment, have not impacted positively on the electoral system because over 85% of election cases are upheld instead of nullified to prove the electoral umpire ineptitude and corruption in managing elections in Nigeria.
Still on this, the Take It Back movement is planning a protest this morning. Now, they plan to carry out a demonstration at the National Assembly, Abuja, and 19 other locations across the country during the June 12 celebrations. In another development, President Bola Tinubu has cancelled the planned national broadcast earlier scheduled for this morning in commemoration of Nigeria's 26th Democracy Day anniversary. Instead, he will deliver his Democracy Day address before a special joint session of the National Assembly. But other Democracy Day activities will continue as earlier announced. These include a public lecture scheduled for 4 p.m. at the State House Conference Center in Abuja. And there's also no Democracy Day parade. Still to come, process of restarting Port Harcourt refinery begins. Stay with us. You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. The Rivers State Sole Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, says the proposed 1.48 trillion naira 2025 budget anticipates the return of suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara and other affected political office holders. Ibas made this known in Abuja on Wednesday while defending the budget before the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on River State Oversight. He said the proposed budget aligns with the strategic objectives of the River State Development Plan 2017 to 2027. He also said the proposal presents a strategic and integrated framework designed to raise revenues and accelerate infrastructure development, enhance human capital, and promote inclusive economic growth across all sectors. Now, earlier, the Rivers State Sole Administrator accused some government officials in the state of withholding vital information regarding the implementation of the 2024 budget under the suspended administration. Ibas expressed concern over the lack of transparency and the poor availability of records necessary for the preparation of the 2025 budget. He said the existing documentation on the 2024 budget and its performance raises serious concerns and falls short of what is required for a credible and effective fiscal plan for the coming year. Responding, Chairman of the committee and Leader of the House, Professor Julius Ihumbere, said the committee is committed to working with the administrator to restore stability, peace, growth, and development in River State. He said River State has always been a shining example of what is possible with good leadership, assuring that the committee will scrutinize the budget. Reacting to this, the spokesman of the Simplified Movement, Dr. Darlington Oji, says it is unfair for the sole administrator of River State, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, to claim that the 2024 state budget lacked transparency. In an interview with our correspondent, Oji described the 2024 budget as the most transparent the state has seen since 2015. He said the budget process included a public hearing with active participation from ministries, agencies, stakeholders, and civil society organizations. He said the budget was fully implemented under the suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara, with records to show for it.
is quite unfortunate and laughable. The budget of 2024 was adjudged as have performed up to 99.9% in that fiscal year. And of course, people in Rivers State and beyond saw the developmental projects that were executed by His Excellency the Governor Siminalayi Fubara. Some commissions, some were still all running. So it will be unfair for him to say so. So for us, we are not bothered to understand that he's speaking from the point of bias. Remember that he has visited some projects that were being carried out by His Excellency, and he confessed that the projects were running, monies were being paid. For example, the Rivers State National Assembly Complex, the Trans-Calabari Road, Ring Road.
On the claim by the sole administrator that some government officials are withholding vital information about the implementation of the 2024 budget, Dr. Darlington Orji said such remarks reflect a lack of inclusiveness in the current administration. He also said the comment further shows that the sole administrator has not carried key stakeholders along since taking office.
If you say that government officials are not releasing information that are necessary, it's either you are doing forceful, you are intimidating the people, or you do not understand the working of state government and functions. And that is why we are praying that God should touch the heart of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Nigeria, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, to recall a God-given governor that all of us voted for to come and carry on to the development of Rivers State, because he understands our problem and our plight.
The immediate past chairman of Obiakpo local government area, Chijioke Ihunwa, says it is unfortunate that the Rivers State representative on the NDDC board, Tony Okocha, is still fanning the embers of crisis in the state. Ihunwa said this while reacting to recent comments credited to Mr. Okocha that even if the suspended governor of the state, Siminalayi Fubara, joins the APC, his sins will not be forgiven. He challenged Mr. Okocha to tell Rivers people what sin suspended Governor Fubara committed. He said he accused Mr. Okocha and his allies of fighting the suspended governor for refusing to allow the state's resources to be controlled by a single individual.
It's quite unfortunate that the likes of Tony Okocha each time comes on air to talk about His Excellency the Governor of Rivers State. Tony Okocha is not a man to be taken serious in his word, and these are people who want the crisis in Rivers State to continue. We know what they are doing. Tony Okocha is a man who survived through crisis. Everybody is aware of what he did to Rotimi Amaechi. To the FCT, that Tony Okocha is not God to say if the governor comes to APC, he will not be forgiven. As Rotimi Amaechi forgiving him, the answer is no. I want to also ask Chief Tony Okocha to tell us what is the sin that Fubara committed, that he has refused to share the resources that belongs to Rivers people to him and to his cronies. The man has said, look, the money that belongs to Rivers belongs to Rivers people. I'm not easy to do projects across the 23 local government. That the offense that he will not be forgiven.
Ihunwa, who is also the leader of the Simplified Movement in Obiakpo, also said the suspended governor remains committed to peace and is doing everything possible to ensure stability in the state. Now, he urged members of the Simplified Movement to remain calm and supportive of the governor.
I want to tell Rivers people that they should remain calm and let's follow due process. Our leader, the governor of Rivers State, is on track. And indeed, our governor is a man that has integrity and conscience. So we don't need to bother ourselves joining issues with Tony Okocha. For us, the president has said, well, what's peace in Rivers State? And the governor is doing the right thing to ensure there's peace in our state. They are even shouting Mr. President. They don't even love Mr. President more than even the governor or even more than I that is talking. We believe that in less than no time, this issue of emergency in Rivers State will come to an end.
Away from that, the National Public Relations Officer of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, PetroOne, Joseph Obele, says the process of restarting the Port Harcourt refinery kicked off on Wednesday. Dr. Obele made this known while speaking on Nigerian 4FM's Talking Figures show. Now, he said the refinery should resume full operations by next week.
Okay, we have two refineries in Aleta in Rivers State. So as we speak today, that they were done fixing it yesterday, and they have commenced the project of owning it. The plant is steaming right now as we speak, and the project of owning it takes like 4 or 5 days. So we, the host community and the stakeholder, the National Board of Oil and Gas in Nigeria, National PRO as I am, we want to commend them.
Now, recall that on 24th May, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, announced that the Port Harcourt refinery will be shut down for 30 days for planned maintenance and sustainability assessment. In other news, traders at the Rumor-Masi morning market are now counting their loss after fire destroyed goods and properties worth millions of naira in the area. Some of them told our correspondent that no item was recovered after a fire engulfed a section of the market housing about 20 lock-up shops. Although there were no casualties, some traders linked the fire outbreak to an electric spark.
The fire was heavy. To the extent that the fire service came, almost 6 of them. They tried to help. If not so, the whole places would have burned. Things that burned here, we cannot count it. Millions has gone. Shops burned down.
People don't bring any pin outside.
Island is electrical fault. I am not the direct victim, but he's spending me as he's spending them because I'm in the same market with them. The shop that affected, the man selling gold watch, eyeglasses and all those things. Rice woman, attachments, the woman with the husband that is selling clothes and other things.
Thank God the fire service came on time, and thank God the fire did not come late in the night. That was why it was arrested as quick as possible. Government should have that human face to say, look, let's mitigate what these people have passed through. That's what we are calling for.
While appealing to the government for compensation and reconstruction of the market, some of the traders commended the fire service for their swift response in containing the fire. The affected area has now been cordoned off.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Report says non-essential U.S. embassy staff and their dependents in Baghdad are to be evacuated from Iraq due to heightened security risks. Officials did not say exactly what prompted the removal, but on Wednesday, U.S. officials were reportedly told Israel was ready to launch an operation into Iran. The officials said this was part of the reason the U.S. advised some Americans to leave the region, and that the U.S. anticipated Iran could retaliate on certain U.S. sites in Iraq. It comes as U.S. talks over Iran's nuclear program appear to have stalled in recent days.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this morning, you heard Nigerians are reflecting as country marks 26 years of democracy today. President Tinubu has cancelled his Democracy Day broadcast. Rivers administrator has revealed that the 2025 budget was made with suspended Governor Fubara's return in mind. On the foreign scene, the U.S. is to partially evacuate embassy in Iraq as Iran tensions rise. The news was edited by Chioma Ezenwafo. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Mwanyele. Many thanks for listening.